Trotter. Just going Facebook Live right now just to give you an update on the storms for tonight. We have a tornado watch already issued for all of our area. This goes until 11 o'clock tonight. So what we're seeing is a cold front entering through eastern Oklahoma right now, going to push through our area in the next hour or two. And so that's why we have a tornado watch that has been issued by the Storm Prediction Center just an hour or two ago, and this will go until 11 o'clock tonight. You can see, again, all of us will be included in this tornado watch, and it includes also eastern parts of Oklahoma and also parts of the central parts of Arkansas as well. I actually have Chief Meteorologist Matt Standridge here as well.
Yeah, it's been a busy afternoon for us so far today. We've been watching that front. It's been interesting too because most of the day we had some, partly cloudy skies. We had some clouds there, a couple showers too. But finally, that tornado watch has been issued. Once again, of course, like Michelle was just saying, it includes all of northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. That cold front is just near Tulsa right now. So areas west of Tulsa, they don't have to worry. The severe threat is just here at home, right along the Arkansas-Oklahoma state line. And once again, this goes off to 11 o'clock. So we'll go ahead and take you to the radar. Michelle, you've been watching these storms pretty much all afternoon now that they're firing up.
So they're starting to fire up basically about an hour or two ago. It happens with the daytime heating, you know. So a few storms have popped up, and they have been, been very isolated in nature because we're seeing a little bit of space just north of McAllister. But yeah, they are popping up right now with some lightning, of course. We have no tornado warnings right now, but could expect some in the next few hours or so.
For sure. So some of the storms specifically right now, some of the ones that are just now crossing into Delaware County, they've been struggling a little bit so far this afternoon. We're kind of watching this cell that's just west of Lake Tenkiller. So this is headed towards Tahlequah. Of course, we still have some time before they make their way into Arkansas. You see a couple showers right now just north and east of Clarksville. Those are a couple downpours. Those are not going to be severe, but it's mainly this line that we're worried about. I think most of us is just one line, it clears on through, and then we're done for the rest of the evening. But the cold front's just towards our west. It's kind of lining up right with 44 right now. Now, these storms specifically are moving about 35 miles per hour towards the east, and this is kind of the strongest part of the line so far. So from Snake Creek, Little Kansas, this is just tracking right along Highway 412. No tornado warnings, like Michelle said, no severe thunderstorm warnings at this moment. They're just starting to get going, but some of these ones are starting to get a little bit stronger just north of Muskogee. So this will be headed right towards Lake Tenkiller just south of Tahlequah, but we'll be watching those come in closer to the state line here very shortly. We're seeing now come into Jay a little bit, but specifically, we can kind of go county by county a little bit. But Benton County, the storms that we're going to have eventually are coming just in from Jay right now. These are struggling. I mean, Michelle, we've kind of watched them. Some of them actually dissipated too. We noticed those a little bit earlier.
Yeah, we saw them pop up, and then I was like, Matt, I see them kind of falling apart, and then they popped up again. So it's kind of back and forth right now. But you can see the one just north of Jay is falling apart just a little bit, but continuing to watch that as well.
For sure. So we're all going to get probably thunderstorms later this afternoon. We have about an hour or two to go. But at this moment, some of the stronger ones look to be near Snake Creek and then south towards Wagoner. If you kind of push these out and time these out, here's the latest map, about 35 miles per hour. I think they'll probably be strongest as we head towards Fayetteville and south. At least at the moment, these cells that are heading north that are going to eventually impact Benton County, they're a little bit, they're struggling like Michelle just talked about. But here are some of the latest timings. Bentonville around 6 o'clock, so we still have some time. Right now, 5:23? So we have, at least 30, 45 minutes to go before we start to see those storms really get on our doorstep. Fayetteville just after 6:30. We get into LaFleur County after 7 o'clock for Podo and Shady Point in Panama. And then they'll be about the same for Van Buren and Fort Smith too, right around 7 o'clock. Eventually in the eastern River Valley, of course, storms kind of speed up and they slow down with time. And so don't take some of these times with a grain of salt. But these are moving about 35 miles per hour towards the southeast. So we've got some time before we have to worry in Fort Smith, Van Buren, Clarksville as well, Paris, Boonville, and parts of Franklin County for Mulberry and Ozark, but the storms definitely are on the way. This is the latest from the Storm Prediction Center, Michelle.
Yeah, they've actually included us in enhanced risk for about 3 days now, so I think the environment is pretty unstable to where if a storm does turn strong severe, it has the ability to produce tornado, large hail, and gusty winds. But you can see it actually level 3 out of 5 risk, which is an enhanced risk. It does include parts of eastern Oklahoma and all of our area, basically a little bit of Scott County at the bottom, but all of our area does have that potential of seeing some strong storms tonight.
Yeah, so we were looking at the radar, so we can't just look at the storms right now, for example. Some of them are struggling, but they're starting to get going. But you see the threat finally impacts and goes up once you cross the state line, because we've had some sunshine throughout the day. Yes, we had a couple showers in parts of northwest Arkansas, but we've had some sun. Temperatures are doing okay right now. Dew points are also higher too. It feels a little bit more muggy across the area for all of western Arkansas. And so once these storms finally cross the state line, they'll probably start to blow up a little bit more. So that's why the threat levels really decrease. We're getting the storms to finally start to fire up in that level to 1 to 2 kind of space right now. But eventually, once they push into Arkansas, they should continue to strengthen. But right now, you kind of have some individual storms. But over time, what's going on is they'll probably start to kind of form in one line. And that's usually what we get around here anyways. You get one line, and then the gusty wind threat really starts to go up. But Michelle, it goes all the way up to Missouri.
Yeah, we were actually just talking about a few minutes ago that there was already tornado warnings around Missouri over here. And that's where the main severe weather threat is, because they have a lot of instability, CAPE, which is basically ingredients for the severe storms. So, of course, they're seeing a couple of tornado warnings right now, but this is actually a perfect setup, a fall setup for severe weather. The warm front up to our north, cold front off to our west, and so that's why we have a huge area of seeing severe weather for today. Yeah,
the fact that they've already got several tornado warnings in parts of central Missouri, I honestly think a lot of the worst weather today will probably be north into the Ozarks and Jefferson City, St. Louis area, parts of Missouri. But we just watched that cold front get closer. So all this area shows the potential for some storms to try to rotate. And of course, we still have the gusty wind and hail threat too. Once we get to the overnight hours, storms will finally push out of our area, and then they'll start to weaken. But we'll have to be watching here for the next 2 hours. If you're just joining us right now on the web, Facebook Live, on our 5 News app, we're just giving you a quick update, a couple new things that we're watching this afternoon. So far, no storms have crossed into Arkansas or even parts of our area in eastern Oklahoma, including Sequoia County and LaFleur County. They're closer to Tulsa right now, but they are moving about 35 miles per hour towards the south and east at this moment. And of course, we're going to give you more updates once they finally cross into Arkansas. Then we may even go wall to wall, we call it, in TV, where we continue to track the thunderstorms and give you the latest updates. But this is just kind of a precursor. You're wondering, it's 5:27 now. Where are the storms? What's going on? This is kind of an update for you guys. So the threats, once again, hail and high winds are our primary impacts, especially once these storms form one line and then they march south and east. But every once in a while, we'll have that rotation threat, especially on the leading edge of some of these bowing echoes on this thunderstorm line that's going to eventually pass towards the east. Here's another look at timing, Michelle.
Yeah, so right now, it's moving through eastern Oklahoma, right, so 5, 6 o'clock. And then parts of Benton County that Matt was showing you earlier will be 7, 8 o'clock. And then Logan, Scott, and Johnson County will probably be 10 o'clock. And then Little Rock around midnight. The thing that I was reading earlier about this cold front as well is a lot of these strong severe storms will be ahead of that cold front. So when that cold front completely clears, I think we'll be in the clear, which will be 11 o'clock midnight. So expect storms in your area where you live, 8 o'clock, Van Buren, Fayetteville, Springdale, Rogers, and then pushing towards Paris, Clarksville around 10 o'clock. And of course, like Matt was saying, these could speed up, these could slow down. So this is just, a general timing of what we're expecting.
Totally. And we'll walk you through all the storms when they finally arrive. Once again, we're just kind of give you an update with the latest information. So just back to the radar here for a second. Still watching thunderstorms towards our west. They're just trying to now get going. We're still watching this cell just west of Tahlequah. This will be headed right towards Lake 10 Killer, so maybe you got a cabin out by the lake. Let folks know. Of course, it's the weekend right now, so just give them a heads up. But Lake 10 Killer is right here, and so we'll be watching these storms kind of blow through within the next 30 to 45 minutes for Lake 10 Killer. Bentonville, Rogers, all of Benton County. Our storms are just towards the west, but Michelle, they're...
Yeah, that one's falling apart that we were watching earlier.
They are. So we'll have to watch. Maybe this part of the line is the one that we have to watch today. Of course, we really can't see who has the highest threat all the times until the storms actually fire up. So at this moment, we've got some strong storms just west, and if you track these out, this is mainly from kind of Fayetteville south into the River Valley event. Bentonville, Rogers, we've got some cells towards our west, but if these start to continue to fade away, we'll have to we'll have to see what happens, but right now the threat may be just a little bit farther south of Rogers.
Yeah, and of course it's not going to be a widespread severe weather threat. I think it's going to be pretty isolated that we're seeing right now, these cells that are very isolated along that cold front. So again, not all of us will see severe weather, but again, the environment's pretty unstable, so make sure you're prepared if there is severe weather in your area.
And it's been active this October so far. We were just looking. It seems like it's more active than last spring was at some points. But we're still watching thunderstorms this evening. Make sure you know where your safe place is. The thing is with these thunderstorms, they can quickly blow up in a moment's notice. So right now, they're just west. But as they continue to blow up, we do have rotation in the atmosphere. They can quickly start to spin up. So just make sure with you and your family, you know where that place is this weekend. Of course, when you get to Sunday, kind of your routine, the daily routine is kind of off a little bit. You got things going on. So just make sure where that place is for you and your family and the pets. But we're watching thunderstorms towards the west. Thank you for joining us this afternoon so far. It's 5:30 right now. We're going to go ahead and hop off. We'll have more updates once the storms continue to cross into Arkansas. We'll walk you through the whole event until we're done. And we may be done by 10, 11 o'clock this evening. Sometimes we're not done until 2 a.m.
Yeah,
it seems like.
like
So,
last time,
for sure. So the sun will be setting here in just about an hour, and we'll be watching thunderstorms crossing into Arkansas. We'll have the latest coming up in just a bit.